Hello everybody, my name is Koubitz, and welcome to my mod compilation video, featuring all of my recommendations for just about anyone for Skyrim Special Edition. Most of the mods that I'm going to mention are pretty big ones. And if you spend a lot of time modding your game already, you've probably heard of most of them. Because of that, this video is primarily designed for people that just aren't sure which mods they should pick up for the Special Edition, or people that are just looking to fill out their game even more with a variety of different mods. So if you already have an extensive mod list, this video might not necessarily interest you, because it won't be featuring any particularly obscure mods. However, if you're curious to know which mods I recommend for the Special Edition, then I absolutely recommend that you stick around. Another thing to keep in mind is because the script extender is not yet released, none of these mods will require it. This is subject to change depending on when you're watching this video. With that disclaimer in place, let's get into the mod list. The first mod featured in this video is called Unofficial Skyrim Patch Special Edition. This, I believe, is a must-have mod no matter what type of mods you like. The reason being is because it fixes a variety of different bugs that exist within the vanilla game. Things as simple as quest tweaks or fixing some accidental visual bugs. The majority of the fixes in this mod you probably won't notice. That being said, it has the potential to prevent a lot of bugs that you might see in the game if you weren't to use it. And it's generally recommended that you use it alongside some of the other bigger mods that I'm going to mention in this video. There are virtually no downsides to downloading this mod, and if you want your game to run just a little bit better, then I absolutely recommend it. The next mod is a somewhat simple one. It's called QD Inventory. This mod provides you with an overhaul of the inventory UI. The way that the vanilla menu system is used. The navigation for the vanilla menu system is designed around a controller. So although it may have ease with a joystick, it lacks the efficiency expected from mouse and keyboard users. QD Inventory allows you to easily move between items, see their stats without actually selecting them, and the ability to sort them in a variety of different ways. QD Inventory might seem like a small mod, but the convenience that it provides is absolutely necessary in my opinion. Another mod that I recommend focusing on UI is called SkyHUD. This is a mod designed to give you several different options to customize the UI while you're exploring the world. Some of these presets simply decrease the size of the health, stamina, and magicka bars. Others feature the inclusion of a clock in the corner of the screen. And one even alters the UI to make it similar to the way that Oblivion's UI appeared. If you're looking for slightly less intrusion, or at the very least more variety, then SkyHUD is definitely worth installing. The next set of mods that I'm going to mention are combat mods. These are mods designed around altering AI, damage, and various other elements of combat. Most of the mods in this particular section aren't terribly specific. They're just there to cover most of the bases. Wildcat and Smilodon are two combat mods that I recommend you choose between. They're both created by the same mod author and feature very similar elements. They both overhaul NPC's combat AI, damage multipliers, and implement new combat elements such as staggering and timed blocking. The primary difference between these two mods is that Wildcat adds an injury system, whereas Smilodon does not. If you're looking for just a few changes to the combat system in vanilla, that means that Smilodon would probably be your best option. On the other hand, Wildcat adds more features, but can be a little bit more difficult to get used to. In my opinion, there's no reason not to install one of these mods. They're very light on the scripting, but add a lot to the combat system that exists in vanilla. Combat Evolved is a mod that makes NPCs' behavior in combat much more aggressive. No longer will NPCs attack you single file. Now, they will work as a team to overpower you in intelligent and efficient ways. This certainly does make the combat a bit more difficult, but it does so in a fair and somewhat more realistic way that, in my opinion, makes it a terrific addition to either Wildcat or Smilodon. The next mod focuses more on your skills. Ordinator is a mod designed to flesh out the perk trees to have better progression and even include some additional abilities depending on your specialization. If you find the vanilla perks too simple or too familiar, then I absolutely recommend trying out Ordinator. If you install this mod, you'll find skill progression and endgame much more rewarding. In the next section, we have some immersion mods. These are mods designed to add slightly more realism to the game, along with additional gameplay features. This is a section that may not be for everyone, but is absolutely up a lot of modders' alley. The very first mod to do with immersion is called Wet and Cold. This is a mod that simply adds altered NPC behavior along with some added visuals. The focus of Wet and Cold is to make weather more believable. It achieves this by making NPCs wear fur hoods and cloaks in snowy climates, and makes NPCs go inside during harsh weather events. An example of this is if it's thunderstorming in Whiterun, NPCs that don't have an important job to do will go inside their house or an inn. This excludes some workers and guards. And as I mentioned, this mod also adds relevant visuals. So when it's raining, you will see a dripping effect on your character's body. And when you're in a cold area, you'll be able to see NPCs' breath. The changes that this mod adds are somewhat subtle, but for those of you that care about details, you will absolutely want this mod in your load order. Next, we have Campfire. Campfire is an immersion mod that adds several different features all centered around camping. First, it adds the ability to pitch tents and create campfires. Tents are now an item that you can craft and use as a place to sleep. Campfires can also be created, but are actually available through an additional crafting ability called Survival Skills. These skills allow you to gather wood if you are out in the wild, along with the ability to craft arrows, hatches, backpacks, and other creations. There is even a whole new perk tree dedicated to the skills that a wandering adventurer would find useful. If survivalism interests you at all, and you're looking for a use in chopping wood, Campfire is a must-have mod. The next mod is one that cranks up the intensity of your survival experience quite a lot. Frostfall is a mod that builds on many of the features in Campfire. It provides an interactable weather system based around managing the harsh weather present in much of Skyrim's landscapes. This involves doing your best to prevent hypothermia by building campfires, tents, and wearing cloaks and warm clothing when necessary. This mod gives the region of Skyrim quite a lot of character. Instead of just hearing from NPCs how harsh the region's climate is, you actually experience it for yourself. If you're looking for more realism and some practicability behind the features added by Campfire, Frostfall might just be for you. The next immersion mod is called I Need. I Need provides a very basic framework for needs like hunger and thirst, and it also adds a basic disease system. Diseases can be contracted by drinking dirty water, being bitten by a wild animal, and a variety of other ways. The food and water that you need to consume is readily available from NPCs or by obtaining it in the wild or cooking it yourself. This mod may not be for everyone since, like Frostfall, it's about managing your need stats. However, if you're looking for a slower paced, more immersive experience, I recommend giving it a try. The next mod is a mod that focuses a little bit more on NPCs. Immersive Citizens is a mod created to attempt to make the NPC behavior a little bit more dynamic. In the vanilla game, many NPCs have very basic patterns of behavior. Immersive Citizens adds different events that NPCs will take part in depending on their character and class. For instance, a mercenary might go out for a bit of exploring. Families will eat meals together in their houses, and NPCs that have relationships with each other might spend some quality time together. Overall, this mod really helps the game feel a little bit more alive. Its changes are pretty far-reaching, and it affects very specific NPCs and also very general ones. The next two mods that I'm going to be going over focus a little bit more on items. First up, we have Immersive Armors. It's an extremely popular mod, and for good reason. It adds a variety of different armors interspersed throughout the level lists to help make the appearance of NPCs more diverse. On top of that, most of the armors added into the game are craftable by the player. The thing that stands out most about this mod is the sheer quality of most of the armors. Many of them look as though they could have been in the game to begin with. And another terrific aspect of this mod is that it adds lots of different styles of armor that can fit just about any type of character. There are outfits for battle mages, brutal bandits, pirates, and even simple hunters. If you're disappointed with the lack of variety of armors in the vanilla game, I guarantee you will love this mod. The next item mod is called Unique Uniques. Unique Uniques is a mod that aims to make the unique weapons you obtain in a game look visually distinguishable from the other vanilla weapons. So for instance, in vanilla, weapons such as the Red Eagle's Fury just looks like any other vanilla sword. This mod remodels each unique weapon to have its own design. The weapon designs fit in very well within the world, and generally just makes quests more exciting to complete because you're not sure what that special weapon is necessarily going to look like. It also helps in giving your character a little bit more visual variety. The changes in this mod are just about purely visual, so you don't need to worry about weapons being too overpowered or anything in the vanilla game being changed besides the appearance of the weapons. The next 3 mods that I have for you are all audio related. The first one, Immersive Sound Compendium, focuses on improving and diversifying the sound effects in the game. Some of the vanilla sound effects sound a little bit dull, and some attack sound effects sound a little bit too similar to one another. Immersive Sound Compendium doesn't just improve the quality of the sound effects, but also improves the realism of them as well. Next up, we have Reverb and Ambience Overhaul. If you like taking in environments, this is a mod you'll absolutely love. This mod increases the reverb inside places like dungeons, so fireballs in a big open cave sound much more impressive, voices will echo a little bit more, and it also improves the ambient loops in different locations. I would say if you care about environmental effects at all, and you're big into dungeon diving, then you'll really appreciate this particular mod. The next mod changes the audio, but also some visual effects as well. True Storms is a visual and auditory overhaul of the weather in Skyrim. It increases the variety of the sounds of rain, makes them a little bit more intense, and of course adds a bunch of different thunder effects. This is a mod that, once again, if you care about taking in the atmosphere of any location, you will greatly appreciate. It also makes things like snowstorms and rain effects look much better. Whether it's snowing or raining, you'll definitely notice the improvements in this mod. Coming up, we have a mod that is a little bit of a miscellaneous one. Alternate Start Live Another Life is a must-have Skyrim mod for anybody that likes to make new characters frequently. This mod allows you to skip past the lengthy vanilla tutorial. Not only that, but it adds many different options for where you want your character to start out. You can choose to start in a faction such as the Imperial Army or the Companions. You can also choose to own a house in any of the cities, and you can even choose a bunch of other starts, such as being left in the woods to die, being trapped in a jail, or just being a patron at an inn. This mod even allows you to avoid the main quest altogether. There's a lot of variety in the different options you get to choose for your character, and it really helps in making creating an alt significantly less tedious. And now it's time to move into the graphical section of this mod list. Keep in mind that many of these mods will create a performance loss if your PC is struggling to run the Special Edition on high settings already. But if you have a PC that can run the game smoothly on medium to high settings, then not many of these will really create much of an FPS loss. I'm not an expert on system requirements, so I suggest if you're unsure, try these out one by one and adjust accordingly. The first graphical mod that I want to suggest to you is somewhat ubiquitous in its use. It's called the Static Mesh Improvement mod. This is a mod that will barely cause any performance loss regardless of what kind of PC you have. In the vanilla game, many of the 3D models, things like ropes, barrels, scrolls, and various other items, are extremely low quality. This mod improves their models, their textures, and overall design. It even adds some extra features, such as barrel lids moving when you loot them. If fine detail matters at all to you, I think you really should give this an install. High quality world map is also another mod that causes very little performance loss. It is a mod that retextures and cleans up the design of the world map in the game. Part of the reason why I'm suggesting this mod isn't just because it increases the quality of the map, but it also clears away some of the unnecessary clouds that often block your view of paths and roads. If you're looking for a prettier world map and clarity in finding your quest objectives, I highly recommend this mod. The next visual mod I recommend is called Total Character Makeover. This is a complete character appearance overhaul. Even though Skyrim Special Edition is called the Special Edition, not many visual improvements are made, especially when it comes to things like textures. This mod smooths out the features of characters' faces, adds detail to feet and hands, and overall makes appearances look a little bit more human. This particular character overhaul sticks very closely to the design of the vanilla NPCs, however, helps make them look a little bit less less like they were sculpted out of clay. And for those of you that are wondering, no, it does not include nudity, so it is kid-friendly. On the topic of texture mods, another mod involving textures that I would recommend is called Noble Skyrim Mod HD2K. This is a mod that retextures all of the environmental assets in Skyrim. This includes things like buildings, dirt, grass, roads and bridges, trees and mountains, and just about anything that isn't an NPC or an item. Not only is the improved resolution a welcome change, considering the shoddy default textures, but the coloration and design is very lore-friendly and will fit alongside just about any other graphical mod. You might not think things like wood and dirt are very noticeable, but I guarantee if you're used to vanilla, installing this mod will be like putting on glasses for the first time. Now, an important thing to mention about this particular mod is that you're actually not able to find it on the Skyrim Special Edition Nexus. You'll need to go to the Standard Edition Nexus. The Special Edition version is actually found on the download page of the Standard Edition mod. I'll make sure that the link to it is in the description. Just make sure when you go to look at the files section that you choose the right version. The next retexture mod is called A Midian Born Book of Silence. This is a large retexture mod that improves the texture quality of armors, creatures, weapons, and unique items. Just like the Noble Skyrim mod, A Midian Born Book of Silence is a much needed improvement from the low resolution vanilla textures. However, just like the Noble Skyrim mod, you will need to find this one on the Standard Edition Nexus. The procedure is just the same as I mentioned before, except you have to just download the default version. There's only one version and it's for the Standard Edition. However, you won't encounter any bugs if you install it. The only difference is that the textures may be ever so slightly darker than they are in the Standard Edition. This is a retexture mod that I really can't stand playing the game without. Moving away from armors, I recommend to you a particular clothing mod. It's called Rustic Clothing. Rustic Clothing provides a finely detailed retexture of all of the clothing and robes in Skyrim. It's an extremely nice addition to complete the improvements of outfits in the game. Just like A Midian Born Book of Silence, it increases the resolution of outfits in Skyrim. Buttons and strings will actually be a lot more visible, and things like dirt splotches won't just look like discoloration. Rustic Clothing is actually one of my favorite retexture mods, since the attention to detail is so beautiful. Combined with A Midian Born Book of Silence and Total Character Makeover, these mods help improve the NPC appearance and therefore help improve dialogue moments. I also recommend Enhanced Blood Textures. This is a mod that retextures the blood in the game to be a little bit more detailed. In addition, it gives you different options for what kind of color you want the blood to be, a lighter red or a darker red, and it adds blood drops when at low health, blood pools, and several other minor tweaks. It simply improves the design and implementation of blood in Skyrim. Another visual recommendation that I have for you is called Realistic Waters 2. This is a graphics mod designed to improve the visuals and design of water. It also adds improved ambience and realism. It increases the resolution of the water in all areas of the region and also makes the water move more realistically. For instance, rivers will flow in the direction of the current, and the sizes of the waves will be adjusted depending upon the water source. This mod really does make water more beautiful and absolutely makes it behave a little bit closer to the way that water behaves in reality. The last visual mod that I have to recommend to you is called Realistic Lighting Overhaul. It completely overhauls the game's lighting and ultimately aims to make light behave more realistically. This mod improves sunlight, shadows, and the ambience when exploring dungeons. This mod really does make the visuals in a variety of different locations in the game appear much more dynamic. The changes that this mod makes are subtle, but are definitely noticeable. If you're looking for better shadows, better spell effects, better lighting depending on the time of day, and more immersive dungeon exploring, then I really can't recommend this mod enough. If you're interested in downloading any of these mods, you can find links to them in the description. And if you enjoy any of them, please make sure to endorse them on the mod page. If you're looking for another mod compilation to watch, I recommend my video on how to make Skyrim's combat more realistic. Thank you all so much for watching, subscribe for more Skyrim content, and I'll see you in the next video.